guys, and welcome back to Opal&Mint. I am Ashley. In today's video, I'm going to be using the Schmincke Super Granulators. My last video, I went through and swatched all 50. Today, we're going to paint with them. I wanted to do that in the last video, but I didn't have time. So we're going to be using these again today, but I'm actually going to be doing a painting, and I'm going to be doing something I've never done. So if it fails, I am very, very sorry. But I'm going to be painting, and I'm going to try to get the most out of these granulation paints that I can. I'm going to be using a spray bottle. I don't traditionally, actually I've never used a spray bottle in my painting. I know a lot of people like to spray their paints down or spray the paper, and I don't like getting water everywhere, so I never spray my paints. I just use my brush. So I'm going to be using the spray bottle on the paper itself, and we're going to be tilting the paper, letting paint run. It's going to be very abstract landscape. I'm kind of excited about it though. So this is going to be, we're going to be doing two things in this video though. I'm going to be painting with the Schmincke, and then I'm going to do a second painting. I want to do the exact same one, but with existing paints that I have. So like there's a paint in here that is a combination of lunar black and ultramarine. So I'm going to mix those two in my Daniel Smith and see if we can get the same colors, the same effects with paints that we already have. So if you don't have the money to pick these up, but you already have some of these other pigments, maybe you can still play with these. Make sense? Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead. We're going to turn the camera around and start playing with these gorgeous paints. All right, so we're going to be painting very loosely today with these paints. Very abstract. And I'm going to have out the swatch book just so I can have the pigments up. So when it comes time to mixing other paints to make these colors, I have the swatches here and the pigment information. So I'm going to put this to the side. We're going to be using Meadened watercolor paper today. This is 100% cotton cold press. It's 10 by 7 inch, 1 to 40 pound or 300 GSM. So with all that information out of the way, I'm going to be using a Tintoretto quill type brush. This is a size 8. I have a vague image in my head of what I want to paint. We're going to start with the sky. I think I actually want to go vertical today. Is that weird? Maybe. All right, so I'm going to try to find paints that I can duplicate with paints I have. I really like Glacier turquoise though. I really wanted to use that for sky, but deep sea blue might work. I really like deep sea blue. It's got ultramarine in it, but it also has PG50 and PV16. I don't know what paints I have that have those in it, but I will have to look up and see. Tundra blue. Ooh, we could do a moody sky. That's what we're doing. I need to find out what PBR7 is real quick. It's iron oxide. Let's see what PBR7 and Daniel Smith come up with. Which paint are you? Burnt sienna or raw umber or burnt umber? Okay, I can handle that. Okay, so I'm going to use Tundra blue. So this is a combination of ultramarine and an umber or sienna. Now to find it in the palette. Okay, I have figured out which one it is. Okay, so for the sky, I'm going to put in a bunch of this Tundra blue. And I don't know if this is going to work with the sky, the method that I'm wanting, but we're going to attempt it. And if it doesn't work, we'll fix it. The good thing about watercolors, you can always lift and fix things. Whoops, I got a little bit of Tundra green. This brush is a little bit big for the pan sizes, so hold on. The Meaden will work fine. It's fluffy enough to hold some water, but small enough to go in the pan. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I mean, I actually like just dabbing this, but I'm gonna tilt it, and we're gonna spray it a little bit. See what happens. And one thing with this method, I'm also gonna have to wait between layers for it to dry. So it might take a little bit of time, but Oh, if I had another block of Meeden paper, I might. I can do them, the Daniel Smith and this one side by side between layers. I might do that. Okay, so there's our sky. I'm gonna just kind of soften out the edge here. Okay, now let that dry, I think. Do I need more? I think I'm gonna keep it light. Let me see if I have another block of Meeden. I'm not done with this painting, but I'm gonna take it off the block so I can use this block of paper. This is not, it's not going to be the exact same size, but it's all I got right now. This is not Meeden paper, but it is another inexpensive cold press paper that I really enjoy, so we'll use this one. Okay, so this is the Fumui paper, and this is honestly another one of my absolute favorites. So I'm gonna set this to the side, and we are going to mix up a little bit less textured than the Meeden. So if the granulation isn't quite as tense, that's why. Okay, Lunar Black. Okay, so I'm gonna use ultramarine. Do I wanna use French ultramarine or ultramarine? I'm just gonna use the Schmincke palette mixing thing because it's right here. Okay, so French ultramarine. And then I'm gonna mix a little bit of burnt umber in it. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, I'm already excited. Okay, I wanna go ahead and get a little bit of the Tundra blue and stick it right next to it so I can hopefully match it a little closer. So I think we need just a little bit more of that French ultramarine. And we are pretty close. We need just one touch of the brown. That is pretty stinking close. Okay. Well, this is exciting. I knew I was gonna have fun with this video, but I didn't know I was gonna have this much fun. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead, put some water down. I'm gonna use the big brush so I can make quick work of that. Okay. And we're just gonna tap in some of this mixture and tilt. Okay. Spray with it. Come on, spray bottle. There we go. Okay. All right. So there's side by side. I think we're off to a good start. I think I need a little bit more blue on this one. I didn't quite mix enough, so I'm just gonna, whoops, go into the correct blue here. Yeah. Add just a little bit more. Guys, we just made Tundra blue, like, perfectly. Smooth out that edge and let that drip a little bit. That actually looks more like some trees in the background, which I'm not upset about. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry and we're gonna move on to this one. Okay, so let's pick out another color. I wanna do, I saw this guy on Facebook do some painting in this technique. I can't remember his name. If I can find him again, I will tag him. But anyway, let's find a brown that I know I can mix up. Preferably one with a PBK 11, so I can put Lunar Black in there. Shire Gray is beautiful. That has PBK 11, PB 74, and PY 159. I wonder if Daniel Smith has a PY 159. Let's look that up. All right, PY 159, Daniel Smith. That's 150. That's not 159. Huh. I don't think Daniel Smith has a PY159. Okay, so I don't have a granulating yellow in Daniel Smith, it doesn't look like. What I want to do, this is my previous swatch book, I've kind of abandoned, but this is, put it in the back. This is Fabriano paper. I want to swatch these side by side on this so that we can kind of see them, just the swatches and not necessarily the painting itself. So, all right, so that one's the Daniel Smith mix. And this is the Tundra blue. Sorry, this video might be a little bit long, but I want to do it right. So this is Tundra blue, and then this is Daniel Smith's French Ultra and Burnt Sienna. All right, let's see how those two dry. Now, we're gonna move on. I don't know that I have a granulating yellow for Daniel Smith, but I think I have one in Holbein. So, it's not as vibrant of a yellow. Do I have a granulating yellow in something else? I'm gonna have to look up information on this one, but this is the, I think this is the Kusakabe. Do I not have it written on here? Okay, so I have a granulating yellow in my Kusakabe set, and I think you can get these in individual paints. So that's also helpful. Okay, so there's a granulating yellow. We're gonna start with that. Now I'm gonna need to remember what color I was gonna do. Shire Gray. Shire Gray is the one that I was wanting to replicate. So we have PY159, which I'm gonna use the Kusakabe yellow. PBK11. I'm going to put in a little bit of Lunar Black. And then we have PB74, which is going to be what? Is a Cobalt Blue Deep. Cobalt Blue Deep. So I'm going to put a little bit of this paint on the palette so we can know what we're matching. And then I'm also gonna swatch it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get creative with my blue. I don't have a cobalt deep blue, so we're going to use some of the blues that I do have. All right, I'm gonna use Blue Apatite Genuine. It's a genuine stone from Daniel Smith. Let's mix this up. All right, we got a beautiful green. Let's take a little bit more of Lunar Black. I think we need more blue. So it needs to be much cooler. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of French Ultramarine. Getting somewhere. That's close. I think it's a little bit too blue, so let's take a touch more of the yellow. Where did you go, Kusakabe? I have paint palettes everywhere. Just a touch more of that yellow. Okay, let's see if this is anywhere near. Oh, it might be. Let's let it separate and see, but I think it's close enough that we can use it. Okay, let me write down what I use so I don't forget. I think that those are gonna be very similar. So, okay, back to this one. So I've got some of that mixed up. Ooh. All right, we're gonna start with a mountain. On the left side, I'm gonna put some of this gray down, and I wanna try to make it fairly thick at this top edge. Put some water in. Tap in more and more paint. All right, so what this guy does that I've seen in his painting, and it's so freeing the way he does this, but I'm just gonna spray it and it's gonna travel down the paper, kind of do its thing. I'm gonna go ahead and put in some more. But the spraying really encourages the granulation of the paint. So just gonna, oops. And if we need to do more than one layer of this, we can, but have a cloth nearby because there's a lot of messy water going on. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna try to attempt with the one I've mixed. See if I can have this standing up. Oh, crud. That was helpful. I think that this one's gonna separate a little bit more on the blue side than the yellow side with the way it's mixed, but that's okay. All right. It will be close enough. Play in with this. I think I need a thicker version of this paint in order for this to work. It means I need to mix it up again the same way, but thicker, which might be difficult. Okay, it's fine. I can handle that. All right, let's get our lunar black. Ooh. Okay. Blue apatite. Too much yellow. A little bit of French ultramarine. Deepen it up a little bit. Ooh, that's too blue, but oh, it's pretty. It's quite gorgeous though, guys. Ooh. That's what I wanted. That's the effect I wanted. Look at that. I didn't quite get that with the other one. I need to try again. This is a really fun experiment though. All right, I need this to kind of stay upright, I think. Keep in mind, these are also two different papers as well, so that could play part in this a little bit. So not gonna be perfectly exact. Just having a hard time building up the Shire Gray for some reason. Okay. Pretty. All right, so I'm gonna do another little mountainy hill thing on the other side. Let's figure out what color we're gonna do though. I'm gonna let those stand there for a second. They're looking very similar actually. See, look at that. Let's look at our swatches and see what color we want to do for the other side. I want to do a warmer one to make it come a little closer in the foreground. Haze brown. Haze brown would be an easy one to do, and actually I think haze brown kind of looks like hematite genuine a little bit. What's one that's really pretty that would be something we'd want to replicate? Urban Gray has a lot of colors in it. I wonder if we can replicate Glacier Green. It wouldn't go in this painting necessarily. I wonder if I could make a little, oh, okay, we're gonna try, let's look up Glacier Green's pigments. PG50. I need like a spreadsheet or something with all the pigments so I can remember them. PG50 could refer to a few different pigments. Cobalt titanate green, cobalt teal blue. So I have cobalt teal, I can use that, okay? Which looks like the right color actually. And then PR233. Potter's pink. Potter's pink and cobalt teal blue, yes! Okay. I'm not crazy, I promise. Okay. Set that over there. Let's fill the water back up that I dumped everywhere. All right. Yeah, Glacier Green is one of my favorites of the set, so I'm really excited to try and replicate. I'm gonna put this here. This is gonna be the most exciting one, I think. Okay, and we'll put it on this page right here. All right, that's what we're going for. Now, let's mix this bright, gorgeous cobalt teal from Daniel Smith. And a little bit of Potter's Pink. I think this one is going to be a very good replication of this. Potter's Pink takes a little bit to reactivate, so you have to soak it a little bit. Oh my gosh, this is going to be an exact duplication. Oh, this is pretty. So if you want Glacier Green and you don't have the money, but you have these two Daniel Smith paints, there's you a Glacier Green. Ooh. Okay, let's watch that separate and see. Okay, so I'm going to use this just very lightly in this painting. I want it to be like a little lake in the background behind the mountains. I should have done this before that first mountain, but it is what it is. So I'm going to attempt to put a little body of water right here. So we'll have another mountain coming this way. So I'm just going to do a little triangle patch right here, and I'm going to put in my Glacier Green. And I'm not going to spray this one. I'm just going to put it in here. And we'll let this kind of separate, do its thing. Might look weird right now, but hopefully it will come together. All right, so let's do the same thing on this one. Mix a little bit more. So there's that. I need to let those dry, and then we will move on. I feel like I need to do another layer on this little mountain, but I'm going to actually take a little lunch break, let these dry completely so I can layer on them without making a huge mess. But I'm really excited about these colors. They are really coming together. These two are not exact, but I think if you played with the ratios a little bit more, that they could be. And I think if I used ultramarine instead of French ultramarine, this one wouldn't be as bright, or just a touch more brown, honestly. But this one's pretty stinking close. Let me write this down before I forget. All right, I'm gonna take a little break and we'll be back to mix. Or should I work on just mixing some more colors? Y'all wanna do some more mixing? Let's do some mixing while those dry. I feel like the painting is secondary now to the mixing. All right, let's see what other color we wanna try to do. Desert green is beautiful. That's another one that I was really happy with. So PR 108 can be a few different things. Cadmium red. Okay, let's see what the green is. PG 26. Cobalt chromite green. Don't know if I have that one. I need to get all of these swatched out in the swatch book so I have comparisons. But let's play. Okay, so what color am I? Desert green. All right, here's our desert green. Let's kind of see what those two colors separate into. What can I use to make this? That is so pretty. Okay, we're gonna go off script here and ignore the pigments, and I'm just gonna mix. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of cobalt teal, touch of nickel azo. Ooh. One tiny touch of ultramarine. Trying to make that green first. Okay. And then I need a red that's going to granulate. Now, I could use lunar red rock, but that's a deeper red. But let's try it and see. Okay. I don't know, whoa, what's going to happen here, but let's, whoa. There was something on my Holbein palette that I think got on the brush and messed that up. Yeah, it was just that brush got dirty. Okay. Definitely just brown right now. Let's see if it separates at all. I don't know that it has enough green in it to do it. Let's take this one. I mean, it starts off very similar. I think there's a little bit more green in the desert green. So let's try again. Okay, sorry, the camera battery died. So I mixed another color. I mixed it more green this time. It's a beautiful green. It's not anywhere the right color. I think I'm gonna have a hard time mixing this one because I don't have the right pigments. Because this is separating into just green and just red. And to make the green, I'm having to put yellow. So I've got a yellow and a bluey teal color that's separating, and then my lunar red rock. And so I don't have those exact ones. I'm going to try Potter's Pink instead of lunar red rock and see if that helps. And actually, think what I'll do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take, again, I'm going to ignore what pigments I'm trying to copy. And I'm going to take Potter's Pink and I'm going to mix it with one of my Daniel Smith, like undersea green. Let's try undersea green. It's not going to be the exact color as the desert green. Holy cow. Let's put a little bit more Potter's Pink in that. Ooh. Because the green is a warmer green. Let me see if I have a cooler granulating. What about jadeite? Jadeite is a little less warm, so let me try that one. Jadeite's right next door to it. So yeah, that's a pretty green. Okay, so some jadeite with some Potter's Pink. I don't know that we're gonna get to match this one exactly. I don't know that it's possible with the pigments I have. Whoops. Oh, I just went into lunar red rock, you idiot. Well, might as well try this since I've got it. So this has got lunar red rock, Potter's Pink, and jadeite in it. Holy cow, that's deep. Okay, let's thin that out a little bit. I mean, it's a gorgeous green. We're mixing some beautiful colors. The one, oh my gosh, this has got the cobalt teal in it with some nickel azo and a blue that I forget now. Blue Apatite Genuine. That's actually really, really pretty. This one is separating more than I thought. So the Potter's Pink is doing its job. The green is just too warm. So if I get the right pink this time, so let's get a good dose of Potter's Pink and a touch of jadeite. Oh, this might be the closest one we have. A little bit more Potter's Pink. Okay, so if you're wanting to get close to it and you have these Daniel Smith paints, I think that's going to be your best bet. Very lightly done. So yeah, that's going to be your closest match. Yep. Okay, so Potter's Pink and Jadeite Genuine from Daniel Smith will be the closest you can get, well, the closest I can get to the desert green. That was a fun challenge mix. That was really fun. Oh, and I should write that down. There we go. Yep, that's really close actually. Okay, so that's not going in the painting, but I did want to try to match that one because I love that color so much. Okay, let's go back to the painting. Let's see. Okay, let's try and make, we're gonna do Glacier Black, which I think is basically kind of like Lunar Black. Actually, there's one in here that is basically Lunar Black. Galaxy Black is basically Lunar Black. So if you have Lunar Black, you don't need that one. But Glacier Black, PB35. Cerulean. Oh, we can do this. Okay, we're gonna make Glacier Black. Sorry, I got excited there. Let's see here. I'm running out of space. All right, so we're gonna start with Lunar Black. And then we're gonna take one of my favorite paints from Daniel Smith, and that would be Cerulean. This is going to be a beautiful color. I'm hoping this will help you want to experiment with the existing paints you have. And I know I swatch a bunch of different new paints on here, and it might get you excited to try new paints. And I am all for playing with new supplies, like one of my favorite things to do. But I know a lot of people can't afford to just get whatever paints they want. So I'm hoping this will help you to maybe make some of these on your own. Okay. Glacier Black is this one. So this is BBK 11 and PB, I think it's a 35. So basically this is Lunar Black and Cerulean. So we're going to see what this looks like. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to use these two in the painting. Whoops. If you're new here, I am a messy, messy painter. All right. So I want to take this one down like so. So I don't know how this guy has like perfected that method of the spraying and the granulating paints. Like he has such beautiful lines of granulation in his paintings that I need to figure out how on earth he does that. You know, when you watch just like a simple 30-second reel, it's really hard to actually see the full technique. I need to see if he has a YouTube channel and like longer tutorials, but yeah, and doing this method, like it waters it down so much. The depth is not there. Okay. Well, we'll see what this ends up looking like. These paintings may be a bust, but yeah, they're kind of boring, but I don't know how he does so much with so little. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I need to find him so I can link him for y'all. I'm just fascinated with his art. He makes it look so easy. All right, so here they are, side by side. I think the point of this video is more to mix the paints. This is a disaster. So what I would do on top of this looks so bad. What I would do on top of this is go on with some more detail and have this as like the base layer and do some like dry brushing and things. Because yeah, this is just, it needs more paint. Anyways, I don't know how he does that where he thins it out like that and it still looks right. I'm going to experiment with that some more. If y'all have any tips on this technique, let me know. And maybe we will retry it. But I just don't have the time and energy right now to continue with this. My migraine has gotten pretty bad, so I need to rest. But the point is, you can play around and mix some of these paints. If there's a paint you see online that you really want, look and see what pigments they use and see if any of your existing paints can come close to it. Because honestly, I think I like this mixture better than this one even. So the jadeite with the Potter's Pink is stunning. That is beautiful. And honestly, I've mixed some fun greens that I wouldn't have mixed if I wasn't trying this. Like, this is a really cool, fun granulating green. So just take any granulating paints you have and just kind of throw them together. Mix them, see what happens. Glacier Green did pretty well too. And then obviously this one's gonna be a dead-on match. Yeah, I'm curious, have y'all done any mixing of your own? And are there any of these that you would want to see me duplicate as well? Galaxy Violet, maybe Tundra Pink. Tundra Pink, mixed Potter's Pink, and Ultramarine. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna close out this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you wanna see our future videos, hit that subscribe button down below and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. That's not helpful. It doesn't really show. Oh my goodness, I'm getting water everywhere.